So today I'm going to let you know how you can make 10,000 bucks every month conveying clinical supplies. You don't need a degree to do this. You needn't bother with to have any clinical experience. And a beneficial thing is you can utilize your own vehicle. It don't beat that, you all. What's up, folks? Right hand to the channel and subscribe to the channel. If you are new here, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. So individuals are making thousands a month conveying clinical supplies, and I'm going to tell you the necessity. I will be giving you a lot of sites and applications that you want to proceed to download as quickly as possible with the goal that you would be able to do this. Above all, in the event that you are not acquainted with what a clinical vocation does, the clinical vocation is the kind of position that this is. They are answerable for both the pickup and conveyance of clinical records and other significant records, lab examples, drug test results, and clinical supplies. And these positions will generally be self-employed entities, which implies you try not to work for the organization. You, in fact, work independently. You're your own chief. So that implies you can deal with your own plan. You can function as much as you need to, or as little as you need to, and make however much you need to. It's sort of like the Uber and DoorDash of clinical supplies. Mind is dealing with individuals, and furthermore having better compensation. And I continue to say, clinical, this clinical obligation, clinical supplies. However, a portion of these destinations that I will be offering to you, in fact, permits you to convey different things as well. You don't need to simply do clinical conveyances. You could simply be a conveyance messenger. Period. So, presently we should get into all of the necessary necessities for you to turn into a clinical profession and begin making this cash. And truly, with regards to what you really want, we'll check from application to application, from site to site, from organization to organization. Yet generally, a portion of the things that I have been seeing that are comparable across the board is a permit. You should have a decent driving record. Your vehicle should be protected. Without a doubt, at any rate, anything that the state's base is for protection on a vehicle. And to the extent that your age, a few spots expect you to be something like 18, there are different spots that you must be 21 years or more seasoned. At this point, with regards to the actual vehicle, there will be contrasts from organization to organization. There are some that need your vehicle to be no more established than 10 years, and there are different organizations that permit you to have a vehicle that depends on 20 years old. And that is the reason I'm going to give you this rundown brimming with a great deal of better places with the goal that you can look to see what the necessities are. In the event that you don't meet at one spot, you can take a gander at another. Don't concern. You realize I got you now. You don't need to simply do clinical conveyances. You could simply be a conveyance messenger. Period. Another thing that will be significant for you to know with regards to being a clinical vocation, there are sure affirmations that a portion of these organizations will require. And one of them is bloodborne microbes. And that is on the grounds that, like I referenced before, you might deal with lab examples. There are these drop boxes that are beyond places like CVS and Walgreens, and they might make them go get there, opening it, and taking out a portion of those labs that individuals have dropped in there, and afterward you need to convey it. So, whenever you're managing with like whatever other organic liquids when it comes to different people, you need to be guaranteed to ensure you're taking care of it, right? To ensure you're safeguarding yourself. And the beneficial thing about this is, the vast majority of the organizations that I've been seeing, they really give preparing for yourself, and they give the certificates, and it's not hard. Don't let that alarm you around. Another confirmation I realize you are without a doubt going to require is going to be HIPAA. On the grounds that with regards to this clinical world, you are managing individual well-being data, and individuals' individual well-being data should be secured. So, they must guarantee that you'll deal with these things in a protected way, and a couple of other prerequisites you may really need to take a medication test. However, once more, that is going to differ from one spot to another. I've heard of individuals not taking one by any stretch of the imagination, and afterward once in a while certain individuals need to. So, I'm certain you're presumably similar to a firm, Monique. That sounds great. What is it that I really want to go to apply and what that pay is seeming as though. One of them will be called drop-off, and they offer clinical dispatch administrations to places like LabCorp, Quest Diagnostics. They have the American Red Cross. They additionally go to Helix. But additionally, like I said before, you don't need to simply do clinical profession administrations with this organization. This is an organization that moreover conveys different spots like Nordstrom and Whole Foods. And that is another benefit thing about this. You don't need to simply be restricted. You can apply to a great deal of places, which builds your opportunity of bringing in cash. However, all you'll need to do is simply go to the site and check out the openings that they have accessible. I can't let you know which ones are employing in your city. I will leave these joins underneath so you can proceed to check it out and check whether anything is nearest to you. However, all things considered with this one, they didn't indicate here. Anyway, one thing that they said is that the compensation is day to day. When you complete a conveyance, you will be paid so you'll know the amount you made. So, another application is one called GoShare, and this is one of the organizations that permits your vehicle to be a little more seasoned. It must be at least a 2001 or fresher. Now, with this one, you should pass a historical verification. You all, I'm telling you, I'm attempting to spread everything out there for you. Now, with regards to paid, this one has a very great compensation. On normal, individuals are making around 51 an hour. However, something you, in all actuality, do need to consider is your vehicle costs like gas. They don't pay you independently for that. You'll need to cover that with what you're being paid. Yet, indeed, even in that hour, suppose that gas cost you around $15 for that hour of driving, yet you were paid $55. So that implies that you actually made $40 for that hour, which is pretty great as I would see it. And again, you don't need to simply convey clinical supplies with this one. You can convey other things too. The following site that you would be able to investigate will be one called Freight. And you should do a historical verification with this one, yet with this one, you'll need to pay for your own personal investigation. It will be $35. And at the point when I investigated the compensation for this one, as indicated by Indeed, it showed that their pay is around $44, 60 minutes. So that is still very great. Not a very well-known application that is out there. One that a parcel of individuals use is called CB Driver. And with CB Driver, you'll need to make a free record, and you can look for the positions that is in your city. They'll show you the things that is accessible, that is close to you, and they have thousands of various vocation positions again, not simply clinical. And this is the one that individuals have really said they had the option to get $10,000 contracts with. You all. So this is actually a decent site for you to look at. Every one of them is very great. However, and a couple of different locales and applications that you can take a gander at is going to be one called Relay Couriers. Another organization that you can drive with is going to be called Dispatch, and you can just go to their site, glance through all of the positions they have. They ordinarily have a decent assortment of spots that they're recruiting. And afterward, another organization is going to be called Diligent, and they, in fact, have sign-on rewards for specific regions. Furthermore, when you apply to Diligent, you can actually code them, and afterward they'll kind of put your application as really important so that you can begin working speedier. And there are more locales out there accessible. You should simply type in conveyance vocation or clinical vocation, and you ought to have the option to find all the more. However, this is essentially like a decent beginning spot for you. This is the most ideal beginning point for you to get into this field and begin making this cash. And other than that, I can't hold back to get the uplifting news once you start driving with this organization. Ensure you email me and let me in on that you've begun earning substantial sums of money, and I thank you kindly for watching. And until whenever we are out, Harmony.